Welcome back to Footnotes, everybody. As always, I'm Matthew, and we're here today with Clella and Victoria for this week's Footnotes.
Hi.
Hello, hello.
Don't be too excited, y'all. I've actually come here as a sort of intervention to explain to both of you why. Wait, my notes here say you guys have been kicking ass for 10 whole sessions.
I thought you were gonna call me out for accidentally kicking Victoria under the table during the sessions.
I don't know if you... We actually do have... Now, I'm aware that none of our cameras have ever shown that side of the room, but on that side of the room there are several signs that do indicate you are allowed, legally speaking, to kick Victoria.
Kind of like the bulletin board.
This isn't a legal issue. It's a moral or ethic one.
Well, you've got the posters in the break room that say you have to take 30-minute lunch breaks or whatever. Like, this is...
Wash your hands.
Wash your hands, yeah. This is you must kick Victoria
Kicking
twice.
Victoria and washing hands are both mandatory.
Mandatory at the table.
Well, first of all, it's been a while since we've had you here on Footnotes, hasn't it?
It has been a while.
I'm really excited. Your character's gotten a little bit more powerful
Just a little
since last time we saw. I'd love to delve into Lilier a little bit more later, but for now, I actually want to give a huge shout out and thanks to our wonderful audience here. We have a couple of new subscribers, and we've hit 100 followers on Twitch. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We really appreciate all of your help, and I want to keep making sessions. Your clicking of the hearts and the buttons and the subscribing and the liking, it fuels my powers, and I just wish to grow ever stronger.
Yeah,
I will tell you when he gets too powerful.
Yeah, we'll put a warning out there. But I do want to say real quick on my own level of announcements, if you do miss sessions and you're a little bit behind, or you want to check out our Halloween one-shot.
Halloween one-shot. A Night Among the Stars.
Again, all that stuff is in the About section on Twitch. We have links to all of our different social media things, and we do have a YouTube channel as well. The VOD for Halloween is up there.
You've actually, and to toot Victoria's horn, the editing that all went into that, making that a little bit more special for our one-shot, Victoria kind of killed it. I really recommend, even if you caught it live, go check it out on the YouTube. There's some really great work that's been done on there, and I think you'll enjoy. Maybe on a second pass through, you'll catch a couple of the secrets.
Yeah, I was so upset while editing that session. I caught so many things that I didn't catch as a player, and I was like, oh man, come on.
Breadcrumbs.
She skipped over that part.
Totally blacked out at the table, just like, yeah, woo, party, woo. And then suddenly, oh wow, hints.
Woo, party's a good point. Now, in session 9, we actually missed our dear elephantoid friend Silas, but he made his triumphant return this session.
The triumphant makes me think of elephants. That word.
There's so many elephant.
Jake has shown a remarkable amount of restraint, with elephant puns being pretty low.
Yeah.
If Jake watches this, though, we are going to all be punished for making those comments.
Yes.
We're sort of putting the prophecy out there.
Yeah, I know. Now, Jake, next session, all puns, every other sentence.
He's got thick skin, it's fine.
Oh, no.
You can't take them from him.
I absolutely can. I will steal every joke. Actually,
I just took out my notebook paper and crossed off a line.
Yeah, you're going to be pre-writing elephant puns just to make sure that they can't be used in session.
Only Jake is allowed to pre-write his jokes. We've been over
Jake doesn't
this.
pre-write.
This is my conspiracy theory. It's a hill I will die on.
Well, so this actually, let's kind of go into this most recent session. I've got a couple questions about the last session, how y'all are feeling.
We can catch you up if you missed it.
I don't think I was there for this session. I think I was in a blaze of DM fury.
It was good.
I was riding the high of multiple combats in one session. Mm-hmm. Speaking of those combats, though, you all encountered this was kind of amping up the stakes from that bullet fight a couple sessions ago. You had a fight against a Mesoloth and a pair of giant spiders.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. We did. I loved the fact that there were multiple sessions because, we came from the 8-hour session world. And so when
shorter sessions now.
When you move into shorter sessions, sometimes we might get to a fight. And getting to have end a fight, have a couple more fights in a session felt really good. But I really felt good in that last fight. Yeah. That was very much
You were
I shined in that fight.
You did great,
I did.
yeah,
I really
girl.
felt. And there's been a lot of sessions where, like, maybe I'm doing damage or I'm helping out the party, but I don't feel like I'm doing a whole lot in combat necessarily because of the way I built my character.
you weren't shining as much as
Right.
some of
I
them.
don't have as my focus with this character is a little bit different than in the past. I'm not just focusing purely on, like the few utility spells that I think I would want and then like core damage. I've kind of been casting cantrips every round because I don't have damaging second level spells.
Your Toll the Dead has been pretty darn effective
it
all
has been.
campaign.
But it really was that moment that I felt like, okay, that was my fight. Like everybody else did an amazing job too, but I had that moment and it felt really good to get there session 10.
So, we have kind of a contrast going on here. I think it is important for me as a DM how I built encounters, and certainly how I've perceived my players have enjoyed games, where specific encounters, maybe even sessions, but be very careful, I'll key them a little bit towards certain players. And I think it's a delicate balancing act. Of course, you want to avoid so-and-so is the main character, or this PC, you never want to make a player feel like they don't matter. Their decisions, their actions.
You should never have not made enough of a difference in a session where you could have just sat out and had the same
You want all of your
experience.
characters to feel like their names are big on the movie poster.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. You want them on the marquee, but there's definitely that feeling of like ordering.
But a face can be in the middle for this session.
Right, yeah. So you've got like certain sessions have definitely been like Silas, Gwynwyn, Thorn, maybe Ismene and Lilia kind of like interchangeable. You have that ordering of like the importance of names. And that last fight felt really good.
Right. That encounter.
So good.
And I think today we should talk a little bit about what made the Mesoloth both. Mesoloth has a really fun stat book. I've never used a Mesoloth specifically.
I'd like to fight it again.
Yeah.
Like outside of canon.
Oh,
sure.
I'd love to fight.
perfect.
I'd love to fight a
Or
horde of
maybe
them.
a horde of them in. Hey!
We go to the same place every time.
With this one in particular, the Mesoloth, for those of you who may not, maybe you watched the session a while ago, or maybe Mesoloth, the name doesn't ring a bell, is a form of daemon, or there's a few ways to pronounce it, but a neutral evil outsider, a fiend made of pure evil, lots of arms, kind of like a cockroach, but bipedal, and it used a trident. But it knew what you were, and you want to tell us a little bit more about the Callister family?
Well, I like to talk about what she started as.
You're allowed to talk. You can talk about conceptually where the Callisters came from.
So that was extraordinarily fun for me because when I first started building out this particular character, I built her in Pathfinder.
Yep.
First edition Pathfinder, and she was a sorcerer daemon bloodline, and so it was very fun to like go into a session and get to fight what I was originally built around. That was really fun.
Mesoloth, actually, going back through some of the notes, Mesoloth is one of the examples we had from the earliest drafts of Ismene when you were creating her.
So that was really fun. That was really special. But my entire character, the concept around the family, which I had picked, it was something that came up as like a very minor note.
It was a
kind
minor
of.
note last campaign.
Minor note last campaign, and I was like, I really was interested, is binding and sealing away, or just destroying if you can, but binding and sealing away, which is safer generally, because you kill them and they go back.
Outsiders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Outsiders, and particularly evil ones. And so getting to play this character with that abjuration focus, but that's all binding and protection magic. Yeah. Anything more specific than that? Because that's just kind of
Well,
like
so
my
I
thing.
I think it was so fun. Just
Yeah.
like, and also because it was a minor footnote in in the last
You
campaign.
you can't have a bicycle.
I already have one. It's in there. It's hidden safely away. You can't know where it is. Otherwise, it'll disappear between sessions.
But I know we kind of started at the
won't.
end with the Mesoloth, but in the Mesoloth's case, it was this creature, and it knew that the Callisters were bad news. You may be low level, and it's very important when making a character. It's important not to say, "I was the leader of these grand armies and the king of 1,000 nations." You are now. You may have noble blood, but you are the you're the youngest of your family. You don't hold a title at the moment.
No title, no land, no real special privileges, but I come from a family that has been doing this for so long. Generations.
You'd be wealthy if you went back home and chose to
not do my job.
carouse about the kingdoms.
Yeah.
Gross.
To not if I didn't want to travel around and, do the whole I'm an abjuration wizard binding stuff thing, like if I want to just hang out at home and do research, which there's a fun thing that I'm planning for this character in the whole wizards concept. that I'm really excited to. I've mentioned it now.
Are we going to explore the concept of custom spells once more?
No, actually, this has literally nothing to do with the gameplay. It's just pure flavor.
Ooh.
But I've mentioned it 2 times now. And I did startle 1 player with it last session. And I'm really excited about it.
Okay. Well, a little bit of foreshadowing going on there.
You were the person I startled.
I know, but I'm trying to remember what it was
This
now.
was only 2 days ago for us, and I don't know what you mean.
I don't know what you mean. I feel like I need to go home and rewatch the VOD, like, and figure out.
We can
You
do
want me
that
to-
on Twitch.
Do you want me to just tell you?
Yeah.
Can you tell me?
Basement. I want a labyrinthian
Oh,
You
basement.
mentioned it twice. I literally have it in my notes.
I have it in my notes. We've got to talk about the rugs.
I'm
You
fine
have
with the
now
rugs.
you now have solidly 90 pounds worth of tapestries, rugs, fabrics, a veritable,
Right?
let's say, Michael's.
Okay,
of
I've got a
an
home goods.
inventory.
I've got a home goods.
I think you have like that cool section in Target.
Right, listen. So it's the Hearth and Home stuff, or the Magnolia.
It's the Magnolia.
The Magnolia section, yes.
We're back. Wait,
Yeah, we've gone all the way back there, haven't we?
So
the
tell me
rugs.
more about the secret base.
Okay, the rugs I want to explain. The original rug was not even because I thought, again, they're a trapdoor. I wanted the rug because I wanted us to have a really nice place to lay our bedrolls and stuff at night while camping.
Bougie. You want to be a little bougier than you had to be.
Because I was like, okay, like, I understand, like, we're roughing it and we're camping and things, but, like, let's make it a little bit nicer. So I thought, oh, put a rug down, it'll, like, kind of, like, flatten everything out a little bit. It'll keep us, if the ground is wet, it won't soak up as much. And then it kind of has just become fun. So I've now got...
You need a separate rug cart. You're getting desperately close.
We're
not-
going to become rug merchants.
We're gonna get rid of the original rug probably and just keep the bigger, prettier rug for the eventual labyrinth
Wow.
of
Well, with
She's the
treating
kind of
one
woman
rug,
who'd like pick up a rug, lay on it a few times, and leave it behind.
I wouldn't leave it behind. I'd find it a nice new home in a dumpster somewhere.
Close dump
But yeah, no, my idea is like wizards build their towers super tall and all this stuff.
Yours is gonna be super color coded.
No,
put your rug on your door.
You got swatches everywhere.
I'm not going.
Everyone picks a personal rug in their journey, and that's what goes on their door.
I want a not like a full on like tunnel deep into the earth kind of thing. Like, I'm not trying to build a new dwarven civilization. I want a sprawling labyrinth. Because instead of building up and adding more and more layers, I want to build out more and more. I want a labyrinth.
Know that I say this slightly. Are you prepping to be a boss? Like, are you prepping to like make the players
Are you
run
gonna take
through a
me
fight?
through a dungeon?
I would love. Okay,
Do we have to roll survival to find like the living room?
there will be a minotaur.
So let's go a little bit earlier. We're gonna go through
Sorry
our
about that.
session backwards. I think today is what's gonna end up happening. I want to talk about the fight in the second fight we had. Actually, was against these sort of cleaners. As far as you could tell, they were destroying documents, maybe evidence of some sort, in Orwin's office. You saw a dwarf and some bandits, and I think because the Mezzoloth fight had a split party, it seemed on the DM side that the cleaner fight where you were all together was a little bit easier than the Mezzoloth fight for the players.
I mean, so for me, I think the full session was an exercise in resource management.
Yeah.
Because I came in the last session, having used my AP points, my arcane points, with only 1 left, then having half of a weapon burst use left.
Right.
Spell slots. Then I burned through the arcane points and the weapon burst.
It was
in
3
the beginning.
3 sessions for that long rest.
Yeah.
3 full sessions in one day. Now we're about to have a bit of a time jump,
Yeah.
which is convenient to stop it from being too slow. But
So this was a fight where I was like a spellcaster the whole time. Like I did like leveled spells pretty much the entire time. It was
I
nice.
had the opposite feeling because of what I played before. You didn't get stuff back really on short rests early level for
Right.
Bard, and having that arcane recovery, I was like, wow, I'm almost out of spell slots. Oh, we're taking a short rest. I get 2 first level spell slots back because of what level I am right now.
Yeah.
oh, and you're about to. Is your number going to go up now that you're 4th level?
No, you've been saying that it is half your level rounded up. Is how you've been treating it.
Okay.
So I'm gonna only have 2 spell slots at 5th level. Then I'll get to.
Oh, 5th level is huge. As far as I'm concerned, I just need to make sure that no one ever gets to 5th level. No? Is that not allowed?
I'm definitely getting. Actually, do you want to just skip 4th level?
We will absolutely not be skipping 4th
I
level.
feel like we're gonna spend a little bit of time there now that we said that.
You sort of have...
It's cursed us. I'm sorry.
I won't say you've not yet developed your rogues gallery of villains. You don't have a sort of but you've had a few people come through now. I've got 3 big ones here on my list here. I'm kind of curious how y'all are feeling. Session 10 was sort of the end of our introduction. Next session, as you'll soon be seeing, is going to have you're going to finally be in the big city, arriving in what might be your long-term home here in Eltz. And so far, the big ones I've seen are, you have this painter, the person who murdered Oswald Cappleberry, the titular man of the Cappleberry Caravan. You got Orwin, real jerk, kind of ruined your time in that little town.
I cannot wait for next session.
You're gonna find him?
Well, no, because somebody's gonna be going to Walnut Hill pretty soon, probably, to finish out the rest of her story.
Oh,
I'm gonna I'm gonna shove the coop in the direction of Walnut Hill.
Okay.
I'm excited about that.
Scoop with Coop
I'm gonna
moves
hope
on.
she doesn't. We didn't tell her that Thorn was from Walnut Hill. Right?
You have not yet met with... So the next session will, and kind of peek behind the screen, is going to begin actually with you getting to meet up, get your payment, do some shopping that we'll have prepped beforehand.
Yeah, it was 2,000 gold a person.
It was absolutely not.
Dang.
You also have one more enemy. So you have 2 enemies you haven't handled. The painter, as I mentioned. Orwin's behind, he's in chains. He's probably never going to come up again.
And then Zarathal?
And then Zarathal.
I can't wait. That's gonna be fun.
I think it's gonna be real spooky.
Oh yeah.
I would never do anything spooky.
I want full on like chandeliers and each like little.
Can
Nope.
also have a basement.
Nope.
Actually,
Nope.
we can
This
just
is part
take-
of my new base design. It's gonna involve a lot of skulls.
You're not... Are you going to become a lich? Do I just need to start preparing a lich ritual? Blood
What am I gonna do?
of a baby deer.
Right, there we go. We've already started with that.
You need the gun from the hunter who killed Bambi. Bambi's mom.
Bambi 2 was darker than I thought.
It's a weird reboot. There's a lot of like elephants and
Grim-
magic in
Grim
this.
dark reboot of Bambi.
Now I'm interested.
But you're Bambi.
So-
No, I'm not the hunter.
With those, so you kind of depleted your resources.
Yeah.
You used up your arcane recovery. Now, on an adventuring day, a lot of times it's advised of being, 3 to even 8 encounters in a day.
Right.
You had debatably 7 to 9 encounters today.
Yeah.
Most of them weren't combat, or about half of them weren't combat, and problems you solved either using or not using various magical resources.
Yep.
I would say you absolutely killed it. I pushed you pretty hard in terms of what with the challenge ratings, with the different things that were going before you, and you handled everything very well.
I don't think anyone got close to going down. Well, no, Gwynwyn did.
Yeah.
Gwynwyn was pretty hurt.
There
I
were
got
like
down there.
3 or 4 potions were used, healing spells
Yeah.
were used.
Like, we definitely used our resources. Not that it was an easy fight.
I was
I meant over the course of the day, a massive amount of damage was taken.
I'm proud of us though, because we're fixing a problem that we've had in the past as a table, where we get all of these single-use resources, and besides healing potions, things don't really get consumed.
Yeah.
There were a lot of
We've been
moments where,
hoarders.
we do the whole RPG thing where you save all your cool stuff and you get to the final boss. And
Use
it's
some
like,
spell scrolls still.
I wanted to learn them.
I think you have multiple of Speak with Dead.
Yeah.
You have several of those.
3 Speak with Deads.
I want to learn that spell.
I have an Expeditious Retreat, and then I have the Stoker's. I think.
Great.
Because
So-
we talked about Expedition Retreat.
Yeah.
Having items that actually are consumed is a great way to great thing to give out to players early on. Yes, there is always the possible pitfall, of them never using the actual item. But I think in the case of these lower level spell scrolls, I think they're going to end up getting burned through as time goes on. It wasn't consumed, but that glow ball, actually, the glow light, kind of ruined one of my attempts there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost split the party fully between fully opaque, inky, magical darkness. But the drift globe does counter that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really do like that item a lot. I was having a little bit of fun in my head with it because we've got like the fighter like all decked out and all this like mundane kind of gear, like non-magical gear. And
He's
then
not even wearing armor.
And then he's got this like orb that's like glowing and magical. And you've got your wizard. He's got pouches full of random stuff and books, 2 books now, and a wand, and has a lantern. And I was just like, this is such an adventuring party. Like I was like, we are there.
You are decked out. You all are.
Right.
I would say you're very solidly forming what almost looks to be some sort of small mercenary band.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm kind of living for it. Once you make it to the big city, I'm kind of excited to see where your lives will go. Like even just professionally, what you'll be doing, making money, ruining your DM's plans.
I'm gonna need to hire Silas
It's all
to help clear out more space
In the
to
labyrinth.
carry more rugs for you.
to clear out.
Fantasy home goods.
I've decided I'm no longer an adventurer. I'm going to be opening up. What is it? It was Garden Ridge. Now it's At Home. I'm gonna open up a Garden Ridge. We're going back.
This takes place in the past.
Yeah.
So.
Before I go on to, I would think it's a little bit more exciting stuff going on here near the end. I wanted to talk about the first encounter we had this last session. Actually, one that was an extension of the previous one. Mm-hmm. How was it jumping back in? This was something that didn't happen as often as at our previous table with longer sessions. From a DM perspective, you all jumped back in immediately.
Yeah. I will say it's something that I feel like you have to learn as a player. Like, if you end mid-combat, there can be kind of a tendency to just be like, oh, okay, cool. I can't wait to revisit and pack up your stuff. Mm-hmm. But, like I have had to learn to, like, write down, like, what kind of elemental damage am I doing?
Yeah.
Right, you have some ability that you track between.
Yeah, well, normally I wouldn't, like, tally weapon burst. Really, I'm, like, just thinking through, like, how many rounds it's been. But if I'm going to be a full, real-life 7 days, I have to have that. Or I come in and I don't want to, like, accidentally fudge my resources because you think... Especially, like, I think you're going to err on the side of caution, and then you're going to end up, like...
If there were ever questions, I would always undercut it by what my original guess was. What I've been doing is something I started doing in person, and I'm repeating now, is at the start of every session's notes, I have my spell tracker. I do that in pen, and then I fill it in pencil, so if we do take any sort of rests and things, I can erase as needed. But from the last session, I was able to look back and go, okay, these are the spell slots that I used. Let me just copy that over into the new day's notes and just start working off of it from there.
That's actually a habit I picked up from you. I had never played a caster before when I came to this table. And the first session, I sat next to Victoria, who was playing a bard, and I watched her do this chart, and I went, that's so brilliant. I copied it down. And
if you look at Victoria's notes from the last campaign, you're going to see a spell chart at the top of a lot of pages.
Yeah. Every new session, I like to have my spell chart up there. And my reasoning is that I get annoyed as my paper starts to lose its looks by erasing over the same printed page multiple times. So doing it on its own separate session notes, and then that way it's always there. You know, I know that was my most recent sessions, you know. I don't know why, but for me, it's more secure feeling in my note-taking than putting it at the top of my actual sheet. Yeah. I don't know.
I think it's actually something Amanda does now. Mm-hmm. She can clarify when she comes to Footnotes.
Yeah,
but I know something she does as well, and I think we can all thank Victoria for showing us on it because it's on the top of every, even when we were playing online.
Yes, my note-taking is spreading. It's one of my things.
I'll give you a coin that Connor does it too at this point.
No, if he hasn't yet, then he will. Because for me, it's just I've got very specific ways I have to take notes for sessions. I've got certain things I have to draw around, like if we add or subtract any money, I'm adding that into my little boxes and stuff. Like, it helps if you know what's going on from session to session, because I couldn't remember where I was in initiative. I didn't know what I had actually cast last time, but I was able to go back and say, well, there was.
Awesome.
And I also track my Hex and Misty Step the same way, where I have a box, or I have a little circle that I fill in Hex circle. If I've used it, I fill it in, and then I know I've used it for the day.
So I love this, that you've been tracking not just your abilities, but also you work with tracking the actual sort of party loot that we have for everyone.
That was my job.
Yeah, in the last one specifically, you had the extra dimensional storage.
I've done it twice now. I've done it for our first campaign, and I did it for our Helves as well.
And so now that the party has not just a lot of gold from doing the quest for both the previous towns and now with Miss Cooper, but also you did take quite a bit of money out of that vault in the sorting facility. Now we're going to be doing some shopping kind of off camera.
Yeah.
We're not the biggest fans of full-on shopping sessions. A little bit's fun. Yeah. Too much can be rough.
You can get really swept away in it.
We're like you said, we're people who are came out of playing 8-hour sessions, and so we are used to the luxury of, oh no, we spent an hour and a half real life RPing a decision.
We sit there and we say, what am I going to buy with my gold? What are we going to take out of our party pot? What are we going to take from each other? What, like, how are we going to make it so that everybody can get what they want?
We're doing accounting work.
We did, fully.
Balancing the sheets.
I think there's a very large difference between I'd like to go visit this. If you're trying to buy something very expensive, you're going to go visit a shop. They might have a named shopkeeper, like Vanilla Bean from our last campaign.
I love Miss Bean.
You may have a named interesting store, somewhere you know where it is, interesting traits and things that your DM's prepped beforehand. But for kind of purchasing the mundane or the less interesting, I think it's good to just do so. We're going to make a shopping list and go handle these things. Things like selling off treasure that isn't interesting. I've got a container filled with silver spoons.
Right.
Handling it off screen. Is there anything exciting that you think the two of you may be looking for?
Well, this is exciting for me because I'm leveling up.
You are. Tragically, I have to let you continue to advance.
What I want to do is figure out if I'm going to be, what spells I'm going to be using to learn for my level up, and then what spells I'd want to be purchasing. Because I want to just get them on the sheet and mark them in a way that's like, these spells I don't know yet.
Sure.
So that as I start to pay for learning new spells, I already have them printed on my sheet.
Yes.
Because I do have that sense of, we're going to be here for a little bit, so I want to have whatever spells I think I'm going to learn between 4 and 5, or what I'm planning on purchasing ready.
And I'll let you know, you will have time to mark your actual scribing time is going to be happening in kind of the jump between these sessions.
So it would be nice to have going in, because I have started, writing stuff as I've learned stuff, writing it down on my sheet and getting the little spell cards. I love those. But I'd like to have them written out on my page as well. So that's my
Magic
exciting.
and ink.
Yeah.
Elle, do you have anything? Clella, does Elle have anything besides spells and ink? Do you have anything you're looking for?
So last shopping trip, I decided to pick up stuff just in case Ismene learned good spells that I wanted to copy down. Since I can't learn spells from spell scrolls, but I can learn.
You can learn from spell scrolls and from spell books.
Okay, awesome, cool. Well, I can learn spells, however. So
you can save some money if you scribe a spell, Victoria. It's now in Ismene's spellbook. You can spend time as a Lilier and copy from the spellbook with her consent.
Now, that's actually interesting. I did see this discourse a little bit online, but I wanted to talk about it because it's...
Oh, dear.
Okay,
yes, I know where you're going.
It's always
sharing your spellbook.
Sharing your spellbook thing. And I'll say, I've definitely played characters who'd be... Anybody in the party currently would share my spellbook with. But... it's just been a thing forever. AD&D had the rule of, if your wizard's feeling comfortable, they can share their spellbook with another person, or you can learn from spellbooks. That's been a thing. I think is interesting that right now, if anybody else was a spellbook-based caster, they had a spellbook, I don't know if I would be sharing my spellbook.
We're not saying that you're required to.
Right. But I find it really interesting because it is that's my thing that I need to have in order to do my spells.
Yeah.
And being willing to share that with another person. Now,
one day you're going to have a backup because you're going to have enough money to create
something
one.
Every wizard does.
Is it possible for me to use Orwin's spellbook as a backup? Meaning, could I scribe my own?
Yes and no.
Okay.
And what I'm about to say is a little bit of homebrew, but is one that I would be very comfortable.
I want to hear.
Can I guess?
Sure.
Can I guess your spellbook is your personal set of notes, and it's very intimate to you as a wizard? So it's not it's sort of the Harry Potter.
Well, rules is written, no, you can't use it.
Yeah. I'm guessing the homebrew part,
okay,
part of it. This is a guess, but sort of you wouldn't just pick up someone else's wand. That's their wand.
I have a guess.
Okay. What is the guess?
I like the guessing games.
If for some reason I lost my spellbook and I only had Orwin's spellbook as a copy, I could only I could only cast spells that I already had prepared that were also in that spellbook.
I was just going to say I would,
that was my guess.
Rather than copying a backup spellbook, I would just have you use half of the cost to update the journal to use your notation.
Oh, I thought you were going to be you can use it.
Very flavorful.
I know.
I was well, it's your personal way of writing notes.
Right. It wouldn't work, so you need to spend ink and supplies to adapt it to your situation.
You have to have it in your brain already in order to use the ones that are in there. So it has to be in both spots, in your brain already and also there.
If you'd like a not too discussed case in the player's handbook, I would recommend reading what happens to a wizard who loses their only spellbook. It's not spelled out very directly and has to be determined through derived properties.
I don't like
and
that
it's
word.
grim. It's very grim.
I don't like it.
Y'all, so, they're all shopping for they're over here in Galavon, they're just shopping for inks and paper.
Yeah.
In the big city, there's going to be much better places to shop, and you're going to be there soon.
Maybe I'll just wait to shop then.
It has been,
Not with the silverbacks.
it has been so long since I first described Elts to you. I want to say it was February was the first time Elts came up in our last campaign.
Yeah.
I think so. I think it was February.
Yeah.
Around then.
You're finally going to arrive. It's a big city. I'm very excited to introduce you all to it. Besides looking for a labyrinth basement to put your rugs in.
No, you don't
We're
start
gonna
with
get a realtor.
You start with a basement. You turn it into a labyrinth.
What are your
It's a
requirements
fixer-upper.
for a home?
Yeah, it's a
Is
fixer
we would like in a labyrinth?
We are okay. So I'm a farmer in Coppersbeck, and
Okay.
my husband is a basket weaver. Our budget is 86,000 platinum. Seriously, those shows, man, I can't.
HGTV, hire us. We'll make a castle.
We absolutely will.
Fantasy HGTV could be its own one shot.
So in Elts, you got a whole bunch
Like
of things
Happy
that are
Home
going
Designer.
Yes.
on. You've got a whole bunch of stuff that's going on. A whole bunch of places to go. You're looking for Zarathal. You're looking for the painter. What was that?
Dwarves.
You're just looking for dwarves in general.
Just going, looking them in the eye.
Yes, short
I'm
people,
not.
please.
I'm not looking for dwarves.
I am, personally.
But I'm curious. Is there? You've been away from a big city in a while. We've kind of been going through. I think Victoria described it as a series of almost vignettes in different villages. You may be in Elts for 30 sessions, 50 sessions. Who knows? Your DM could keep you here in like sort of a purgatory for the rest of your fake lives.
I know what I'm doing.
You existential crisis. I would like that clip.
So, backgrounds exist.
They do.
Character backgrounds exist. And I would like to begin to utilize mine.
I know that you're not a pirate. But
That was last
No,
week.
the pirate was the last time.
I just expect you to be like, and I'm going to become a pirate. Like,
It does not every time. I would
Yes.
love to.
yes.
Yes, Jake.
Okay.
Designer weapons are absolutely on the menu.
No, not weapon.
What was that?
Wagon.
Wagon.
Wagon. You have a designer wagon. The Wainwright Guild of Elts built
We're just
that
gonna
current
just
one.
nail some of the rugs in, and I'll be designed.
We'll take the old rug and cut it to size. Well, it could line the insides of the. Yeah. There we go. There we
It's a
go.
beautiful unboxing experience.
Yeah.
For-
No. My current background on my current character, not the one I had last time. But I would like to use that and kind of.
Do you want to tell us more information?
Oh yeah, it's a noble background where like common people want to make you happy and nobles believe you're supposed to be there.
That's good. And the nobility of
schmooze.
Elf is a big deal. We touched on it just a little bit in our Halloween one shot. We saw an example of that both with the host Percival Prospin,
Yeah.
and of course we cannot forget Lord Tenenbaum, played by our dear Connor.
Yay.
Kind of killed it. He did a great job.
Yeah, Connor's over here collecting trinkets now.
Yeah, he has like a horde.
Ooh,
going on.
can I say the topaz, please? If you have not yet watched the Halloween one shot, I highly recommend it, as there may be a interesting little tidbit from there hinting at future events
There
in
was-
our campaign.
There was an elephant in the one shot as well.
There was
There was an
technically-
elephant in
you
the
are
one
correct.
shot, yeah.
Don't technically me. There was one.
But yeah,
I'm
I
sorry.
was planning on utilizing that little thing earlier on.
Your
but
nobility will matter.
My nobility will matter more here because more before it was just like, oh, if I really want to like twist somebody's arm, I can just be like, I'm a noble lady, give me a place to sleep. But now it's I'm a noble lady, let me come to your banquets. So
There will be more than one fancy ball going on in town.
We're gonna have to get a change of clothes.
I need something that isn't pants.
See, this is an example of actually interesting shopping. Let's go get dresses. Or palazzo pants.
Yeah, palazzo
Is that the-
pants.
We did that last campaign too.
Few
It was one of
times.
my favorite things. That we would go like, the seasons are changing. It's winter. Okay, guys, describe your winter outfits.
We upped it. Yeah, so
We're
up to
about to
sort
have
of
to do that.
visual.
We're not cartoon characters. We don't wear the same things every day.
You were a little bit cartoon characters in
We're
that sense.
we're
Well,
seasonal.
we were seasonal.
Right.
We had
Ooh.
like fur trim to our
People
crop
with like
tops.
Yeah.
very clear outfits. You met a new NPC. Let's talk about him.
I can't.
You can't. So, I did warn Clella beforehand that I would be talking about the newest NPC. Newest NPC, yeah. The newest NPC, Adon Castillo, a mercenary of Elts, from Elts, really, who you met just near the end of this session. Clella has no ability to keep a straight face while Adon is talking, and I just like don't appreciate that you can't take me seriously. Is this? Am I a joke to you? Now, chat, you let them know down in the comments or over, or I guess it would be YouTube comments, or if you're here on Twitch, let us know in the chat if I should talk like this forever.
Do your recaps that way.
The last time
on Stories to D4, our players did some totally radical tricks and saved me, Adon Castillo.
Okay.
All right.
I have a pitch.
Adon's modern life.
Adon is someone's backup character.
We don't hire Don because obviously he doesn't want to be hired.
It's also
You got a job.
He said you couldn't afford him. Is what he told
Right,
me.
but
I
the
can't
opposite.
right now.
The opposite could be true.
He could hire us.
We could work for a Don,
So, if you'd like to know a little bit,
so we can talk more.
it hasn't come up much, but I will let you know. It's very common for mercenaries to work in bigger groups. Now, he wasn't just because he wasn't in this particular instance. You'll be buddy with Adon for a little bit here. He's heading the same direction as you.
We're gonna travel with the Don every day.
It has occurred to me.
Can I sit in your wagon? What was that, Clella?
Sure. It has occurred to me just now in this moment that we are going to our first time as a table, going to a city where we're going to be in an urban setting for a long time, which I think is going to be fun.
You've been in villages and towns.
And then we had the big castle on the hill. That's just
Right.
we haven't been in an urban setting where we didn't roll up as the most important people there.
That's true. In your previous campaigns, you visited Ladria in the Vorax Empire. Huge city, similar to Elts.
And we were there for a few days.
And then
few
you
weeks?
left.
Yeah.
You were there. You were there a little longer than the rest of them.
We were there for like a week.
We don't need to talk about this specifics on
We
that
won't talk
one.
about it. We won't talk about it. It's
But-
fine.
You're right, Clella. You are going to be in an urban center. Are you excited or are you nervous?
Well, the thing that occurred to me was that we're going to look like mercenaries. Like, we have a store, but like it's
Mercenaries.
closed. It's
Mercenaries.
closed on Saturdays because that's when we're going to go do the non-murdering that we do most of the time.
Listen,
I'm trying to have this be a very much an open set of options for you. I've actually been asked by at least one player the viability of opening up a shop and actually selling the wares or items that you get through your adventures. And just like some of the other things that are maybe a little too spoilery for me to talk about that people have asked about, those are options open to you. The city of Elts, you all have your own reasons. We'll talk, I think, during our next session, a little recap as to why everyone is going to the capital. But the two of you, well, I think the reason you're here is your fault.
Yeah,
It is
That's
entirely
fair.
Alilia's fault.
that's fair.
Mm-hmm.
So, sorry. I mean, we can go study the libraries and stuff, so it won't be entirely worth it.
There are massive research facilities here.
They have a university.
They have a
I'm
big
so
university.
excited.
You gonna go meet Lark?
We're gonna put a second chair next to mine. I'm just gonna switch between chairs and slight
Hold the
voices.
bow tie up.
If I did character voices, it would be easier.
yeah,
I
you got the
was
bow
gonna use bow
tie.
tie.
Visual
bow tie.
reminder.
Now, one thing I will warn you about beforehand is, should you decide to become a merchant, you will need to make sure to join the guilds of Elts.
Yeah.
That is something that may matter to you. The guilds kind of run a lot of the city. Ismene's not feeling that, though.
Nope.
I like a good guild.
You can join a guild.
I'll join any union.
You're gonna be a magus in Elts. They're not super common here.
Yeah.
Tell me more about the mages.
Oh my god, okay. Please. Sure. How you been feeling? You've been using a whole bunch. It seems like weapon burst is kind of this your big iconic ability.
Yeah, I think because weapon burst is something that you have the most, not necessarily the most of, but you get to do the most. And it lasts longer. It's not a one-time thing, you know.
I mean, for right now, it's 2 full fights a day.
Yeah, it's
easily
2 full minutes,
Mhm.
and that's a lot of time. It's not, especially if you have a fight that's more than 1 minute.
But so
But-
we've had different dynamics through each of our campaigns, and in this one, I'm kind of curious where you feel both as like just the mages in general, but also more kind of more focused in on Ililia herself. How do you feel you fit in the sort of party role?
So I think Magus is really fun and versatile class. Like, you can be...
Stop.
I mean, because you can be DPS, as Jake likes to tell me I am. I don't really know what DPS means.
You do a lot of damage, that is true.
Yeah. So you can do that. You can also be a caster if you want to, because you have the half-caster thing going on. And I think you feel more of a caster than you are when you play a paladin.
If you use Firebolt often, if you use your cantrips a little more at a range, you would certainly look to most people much more like a wizard or sorcerer.
Yeah.
Oh.
Thinking about it, watching it play, I know it isn't the same amount of spell slots or the same progression, but it does feel like kind of like that step. Like you've got your wizard, and you've got your blade singer, and you've got your magus, and then you've got your fighter kind of thing.
Like the Eldritch Knight is on the far end of that spectrum.
Right, like the Eldritch Knight's
Technically
even
magic.
further. Yeah. So like
The
maybe
dunce hat at arcade school.
wizard, fighter, fighter.
And then Magus sits like nicely in this middle.
With Blade Singer over here and Eldritch Knight over here.
Yeah.
Right, because Blade Singers are full caster. It's a wizard subclass that your DM may allow you to use. Now,
elves.
we actually did talk about Blade Singer while doing design on the Magus. And one thing about the kind of the inversion is that a Blade Singer can act like a fighter for a certain number of minutes a day.
Yeah.
The Magus is always a talented fighter.
Yeah.
And sometimes becomes an extra elemental one.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you don't get...
You mentioned defeat to me a little bit when we were discussing options. We're not doing it yet.
I talk about this feat all the time, though. It's one of my favorite things I took and ruined so much of your time.
Maybe disagreement in something is actually pretty. This is content.
Yeah.
Excellent. You have feat that you like, and I'm gonna actually ask the viewers to back me up, or if you're bad people, agree with Clella here about how you feel about the elemental adept feat.
It's a good feat. You ignore resistances, which is really great.
So elemental adept, for those of you who may know, it lets you ignore the you pick one element of damage. So say fire or cold, and you ignore resistance to said damage.
So if you're like a wizard that has a lot of like icy abilities, ignoring resistances to cold becomes super handy. Plus, all of the ones you roll for damage become twos.
That's good if you have a lot of dice.
That can really say, you're rolling a Cone of Cold 68. That's potentially an extra 6 damage if you roll all ones.
That is potentially 6 damage.
But just nothing to sneeze at. Like it's a pretty good thing. And I do like ignoring resistances. And I love the flavor of you've worked with an element enough where you were able to wield it and ignore how
I love that part.
Yeah.
The flavor of Elemental Adept is great. Yes, Victoria? Were you checking something?
I always forget it's actually in the PHP.
I wanted to look at it.
To see if Necrotic was on there?
Is it?
Yeah.
It's not.
It is not on there.
It's not on there. It'd be so
Necrotic
good.
Or Force was on there, it would be insane. I mean, Force has never resisted, but just
the biggest thing
ones
about
to
Force
twos.
is 1s to 2s
Yep.
for
So
magic missile.
Yep.
Yeah. But it would be kind of broken.
But necrotic damage. I do necrotic damage.
See, if we had a necrotic adept feat.
That's just being a necromancer with even more stats.
As Jake
Extra
did
steps,
mention,
right.
unfortunately, Jake is on my side. That
Chef is
Elemental
the-
Adept is not worth it because Chef is the best feat.
I feel like
No.
Jake can't even argue that because if there's a feat that is shown on our table, it's been a Sentinel.
Oh man, no.
Warcaster.
I only have
Warcaster
water
too.
today. We can't talk about the Sentinel feat.
No, but what we can talk about is
Love
the
it.
Crusher feat, which I know that Silas has, but I also, if I ever build a monk, is the first pick feat is Crusher.
Crusher actually, it's
So
been
good.
kind of interesting. I actually think because Silas taking that Crusher feat, and Jake, we are talking about you without you here. Sorry about it.
You're here in chat.
You're here both in spirit and digitally.
Sometimes I can still hear the sound of his digital voice.
So I will say kind of a cool thing that Jake caused is with the Magus we have this frontline person, yes, but a little frailer than something like a barbarian or fighter. But as having the magic, get a little extra damage. Jake actually did 2 things to make himself really mesh with the party. First, by being a battle master, he's been able to use that ability where he swaps places and increases one of your armor classes. Actual tanking and defensive abilities. But the Crusher feat augments the damage of everyone. He gets one of those crits. Yeah, he rolls some damage. He's a little less strong with how hard his attacks hit, but the ability to make either of you get advantage on all your attacks, or in the best circumstances, everyone get advantage is insane.
I mean, even just the switching the places, he's used that twice with
Doesn't
Lightning,
provoke.
where I'm running up, swinging, doing my hit. I'm much more vulnerable to being hurt than he is. He's switching us out. It's really nice.
Gotta get that switch every once in a while.
So if you play a magus, you're required to have a tank in your party. I'm kidding.
And it's fair. It is not a... I don't think the magus class is going to fit... If you're building a party with your friends and you want to work together, you're kind of worried about balance, it may not be in your best interest to have your magus be your primary frontline fighter, the person you want to take all the hits.
Yeah, I was thinking about that classic party, like the wizard,
fighter,
A
or
fighter, a
fighters.
wizard, a cleric, and a thief.
Yeah, and if you've got that fighter role, I don't think that the fighter is switchable with the magus. I think closer to the rogue being switchable.
Yeah, you do have some.
it's-
You have some extra skills too.
Think of it as a dex class in that way.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think magus is like kind of like a, oh, I like wizards. Oh, I like being good at melee. Oh, but I want the versatility of a sorcerer or warlock.
It is
then-
It is very much a hybrid class.
Yeah, I think you get a lot of the best of
Are you
all worlds.
spontaneous? Or are you prepared?
Like as a per.
How spontaneous are you? What is your star sign?
I'm a Gemini.
no.
But no, you actually make a good point. So, Clella, she was asking if
I'm
you
a-
were a spontaneous
Yeah,
caster.
I'm a prepared caster.
Okay.
So very
Okay.
wizardy. I carry a spell
Okay.
book.
You prepare a number of spells actually equal to the paladin class.
Yeah.
Though unlike paladins, you have to learn spells in your spell book, whereas paladins know all of the spells in their casting list for levels they can cast.
Which that's something that I think appeals to me a lot personally because I'm used to playing a wizard. I love wizards. They're great. 10 out of 10.
Yeah, you have some feelings about elves and arcane.
I love wizards and I love elves and I love elven wizards. And I would keep playing them forever if I couldn't play only elven wizards. But I really love preparing spells and I like getting the chance of making the mistake there. I think it's really fun when you go, I have the perfect spell for this and it's not what I prepared. And I think
It's very frustrating.
I hate it.
I actually no, I enjoy it. I think it's like a fun
Oh,
extra
frustration.
element.
Failing, frustration. There are ways for these emotions to just be a good thing. Like the kind of not quite the same as like failing forward is part of the failing a skill check.
Yeah.
But not having something that can represent character growth. I have seen in our last campaign we had a character who suffered, let's say, multiple incidences of issues where they fell and injured themselves, and as such the party kind of became followers of the spell Featherfall.
Yeah.
I don't. Okay. I've now played 2 different prepared casters.
Yes.
I'm not in love yet because I did play a cleric and now I'm playing
Oh.
a wizard. And I've been over here nodding my head because I'm like, I like having a more limited spell list and building a character very specific.
Connor has shared that sentiment
While
before.
playing a wizard, right, I'm having to sit here and pick spells. And my difference in opinion, cleric, I knew all of them, I had to prepare, right?
Yes.
Wizard, I'm having to learn spells. And then bard, I knew a very limited number, but I could cast any of them, right? Okay. I think in my order of things that I like, it went bard, cleric, wizard.
In terms of now, just to clarify, you're talking about specifically spell preparation.
Spell preparation, spell knowledge, learning spells. Because I liked either I liked having that very focused character, and then with my cleric, I put arbitrary rules in place for what spells I would allow myself to prepare.
Clella, you want to make a
What's that?
little wager here?
Sure.
End a campaign. You think Victoria will be converted to the superior prepared side of things?
You know what? I think because Victoria is such a bard to me. Like,
I don't know how to feel about that, but it feels good.
Aw.
No, I like it.
Victoria, I think
No.
you're pretty too.
All bards are beautiful.
Yeah, it's true. That is
It's
that is
true.
canon.
Actually, in the
It's-
PHB,
Don't
you can
listen
find
to your
it on
DM.
page-
Look at me. Really zoom in on my face. All bards are beautiful. All of them.
I mean, literally, you have a high charisma.
Yeah.
Amazing.
But-
So you think she's going to stay on the spontaneous
I
train?
mean, I think this will not be the last time. After whenever this campaign ends and we do campaign 3, I don't think that will be the last time. Yes, you grin every time I reference the fact that we're going to do more campaigns.
I think we'd have to call it 2. We're here on the stream.
Right.
They don't know. We had campaign 0.
No, it counts. It counts. I'm gonna die on this hill.
Okay.
It counts.
It does count.
This hundreds of hours of
know.
my life, it counts.
It was 3 years.
3 years of 8-hour
I remember
sessions.
when we made the world we know.
We were literally... I can't wait, and this is totally an aside, I can't wait in this campaign where we're doing what we did last time, which is, let me pull our notes from, like, then it was like, let's pull the notes from 2019 to reference
figure
this
out.
thing. And we're gonna be
Literally.
like, let's go back to 2021.
Literally building my character for this campaign, I had to go pull out the notebook I'm using now and find notes from 2019.
To be very vague, I believe you at one point told me, hold up, I think I lost my notes. They're from an old work, they were on an old work computer. A little while. You changed jobs a few times.
Oh, yes,
You!
yes. Oh,
I
yes.
haven't
I
changed
lost, so I lost the first session we ever did.
It was a while ago.
We did it via...
We had computers
fine.
handy.
It's fine.
It's
Yeah.
fine. We probably lost nothing. Now,
Yeah. I saved as much as them I could. I literally copied and pasted them into like a drive.
my rules corner is so small. It's like a little acute today. There's only a little bit to talk about. But before then, I'd like to make 2 announcements. I wanted to save them. You people here, you're the real ones. Here with us now. We have 2 exciting pieces of information. First, I want to thank our new subscribers. I believe it was Cold Gnome. Cold Gnome, we really appreciate you for supporting the channel. And I also do want to thank Guru Santiago, my pops, my old man, my ancient father, older than time immemorial.
I prefer that over the Dawn voice.
You
in
want-
terms of it makes me laugh less.
Right. And so I'm going to go ahead and do the next announcement in the Adon voice.
No, it's just I can't take it seriously.
This next session, okay, I can't. Session 11 is going to be happening this Friday, early in November, same time as normal, 7 o'clock Central. What I do want to mention, and I hope you'll pass along to your friends, is because we ended the last chapter here at Session 10, 11 is going to be a great jumping on point. If you haven't seen everything, you're good to go. We're going to have a big introduction, reintroduce our characters, talk about why we're here, and start a brand new adventure. And if you've been watching the whole time, don't worry. It's absolutely going to keep going the way you investing in this. You've been invested in the stories, and we're going to get some fulfillment on all of those.
I mean, you can always trust us to reference things.
Yeah.
It's already happened.
We can.
Yeah.
I think good.
You have.
no,
You've
we
all been well behaved.
But like we've already started referencing like our earlier sessions
That's
at
good.
session 10 where we're like, oh, remember that time you cast the grease spell? And I'm
Uh-huh.
like,
We're almost at 3 months.
yeah. Whoa.
Yeah,
Oh man.
we're really here.
Can we play every day?
I would. I have the material. I can run more things. You want to? Let us know in the comments or in the chat if you want more content. We'd love to hear from you.
More content.
More content.
More content. More
Vote
content.
for more content.
Vote for more content. Click button.
Give us
a
love the elf
hey.
campaign. We'll make another that you love.
If you can,
More
we'd love to
content
have you
every
come
day.
subscribe to us on Twitch. It really helps the channel. Helps us upgrade what we got going on here.
You can also follow us. It's free.
That is literally free
Following
on
free.
Twitch, on Twitter.
Twitter.
We'd love to have you come
Twitch,
give us
Twitter.
a follow.
And YouTube.
And YouTube.
And YouTube. Now, YouTube is subscriber because I don't think you can follow on YouTube. They all have their
Subscribing
own
is-
made-up words.
Do the
Subscribing
follow
is
equivalent.
following.
We act like YouTube. We all haven't used
Wait, we don't know what YouTube is.
It's the only one of these platforms I used for most of my life.
Right.
I mean, starting 2005. It's been around.
It's been a minute. Well, you guys ready to squeeze into the very tight, narrow rules corner of the day?
Great. Tell
Yeah.
us.
Today, it's not a quibble. It's not a quibble nor a quaff. It is a house rule. And it's a house rule I have seen some people be upset, angry, indignant about.
Okay, what's up?
Potions. Rules is written. Uses of a potion. It has 2 parts. 1, it is your drawing it out is your object interaction. Is your object interaction for the turn. In addition, so this is drawing a weapon for your turn. Now you got to draw your 1 potion. It's an action to consume the contents of that corked magic. Clella hates it. Clella, why do you dislike? Why do you disagree
Also-
with Jeremy Crawford? Tell me more about why you're calling out
My personal beef.
famed game designer and generally beloved human being, Jeremy Crawford.
Well, as a non-beloved human being.
True. Very true.
Let's hear this one.
Have you ever drank something very quickly? Perhaps a small quantity of something very quickly. Perhaps like this very quickly. Does it take you less than 6 seconds?
To be fair, and balanced, and T and M, I want to clarify 2 things. First, obviously, Clella's opinions don't reflect the opinions of Stories to D4. If you don't like Clella, please slide into her DMs and tell her why she's terrible. Moving on from that. No, kidding.
I didn't expect your face to.
I'll go. Clella, obviously, just giving you crap with the Jeremy Crawford
I like it as a bonus
stuff.
action.
Yeah.
I want to say something.
That's my
In universe, it absolutely makes sense to think about the fact that drawing a potion, drinking, swallowing, then the effects activating. I can absolutely understand the fiction of that.
I get it, but
I think it's just fun mechanically at our table to use bonus actions. People like getting to do another thing. Mm-hmm. And in the case of potions, you all really seem to like to be able to use them.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I don't think you're sticking a potion like deep into your pockets.
you got it
like,
on your belt loops.
It's something on your belt loop, so it's super. If you think about something you're doing one-handedly.
I would argue for a limited number of potions accessible by players.
That'd be the Pathfinder solution where there are quick draw slots you can use to remove them as a swift action.
Uh-oh, I accidentally suggested something that sounds like a Pathfinder rule.
Yeah, we keep coming back to that system.
Uh-oh.
We should visit that system sometime.
I don't know.
Yeah?
Yeah.
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 We also have a request for more Star Wars content.
Yeah.
Star Wars content. That is an excellent idea. Now, Jen, I really appreciate you saying that. I would absolutely love to run some Star Wars 5th Edition, a system, a homebrew system that's near and dear to my heart, made by a couple of incredibly talented folks online.
Definitely support them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't know
They're
the
great.
legality of all that system. We're not Disney.
We're not Disney. And
We are not Disney.
And we're also not coming for
Can
Disney.
that be our catchphrase?
I think we're not even allowed to say Disney in a catchphrase.
No more saying that.
You're right. Bleep it. Got the mic.
I'm just going to start listing down superheroes from a particularly famous film
Nope.
franchise loudly.
Quickly, someone delights. So we're happy. We're
Right.
pretty consistently content.
I get it. I get the reasoning.
How often would you have a regular healing potion in a battle?
Almost never. For action? Unless like you're going because you could take the dodge action and be less likely to get hit.
You got it. I think you've hit the nail on the head. The dodge action existing does make it very difficult. It makes it very
Yeah.
difficult to justify.
Okay. Again, I had a lot of uses for my bonus actions, so didn't even like to drink potions then because I had so many things I could do on my turn.
Mm-hmm.
I am so sad. I miss Bigby's hand so much. I love that spell. But, you know, the action use of a potion just makes it feel like, okay, on my turn, I drink a potion and turn. It very much is
We're
almost
going
like...
to get spicy potions pretty soon. Some newer effects.
I'm excited because we do have that one vial of something that we haven't stuck our finger in yet to test.
We also have
Oh, I know what that is.
Interesting reagents.
Yeah.
And we have an artificer, which always makes.
Specifically, you have an
Crafting.
alchemist who specifically wants to craft potions.
Yeah, which is very exciting for me.
I
She's
genuinely...
also provided beer every session.
If you're
That
all
is
wine,
true.
like in the party, like just yeah.
I will say this.
And wine.
This house rule, and it has been pointed out to me by a viewer of the show, does most impact that alchemist. And I actually, for the better, it's a very strong buff to someone who makes potions. And I just think that gives Amanda a very strong spot in the party. Both in combat, being able to use all the things that she's created, but also out of combat, able to craft these things and buff the entire party kind of passively in a safe manner.
yeah, if you've got something that would increase somebody's movement speed or their AC or something, like these littler, they're big effects. But
Yeah.
like, if you've got these things that you're like, okay, I know that in combat, you've been struggling with this one particular thing. Well, we can't afford to get you armor, but if you're in a sticky spot, use this. I love that. I think that's so fun, and we have a class that I'm not familiar with when it comes to like the alchemist stuff. Like, I know nothing about artificers and alchemists even more
We're gonna see
specifically.
some things.
So
With her stats going up just a little bit for now, but in a few levels, you're going to start seeing some very special tricks from our dear Amanda. Hopefully, we'll have her here on Footnotes in the future to talk about it. I have terrible news. It's dreadful. A dark disturbance coming across the different settings we play our games in. We're all out of time for the evening. I want to thank all of you, each and every
No,
one.
we're like all
I'm not
sad.
sure if my sad face actually transmitted
Well-
across camera.
Very sad.
Teasing
You've seen
aside,
Florence Pugh.
we really appreciate all of you who stopped by and joined us. Please come back this Friday for our new session and the start of a brand new chapter of the Elts campaign of Stories to D4. Clella, thank you so much for joining us. We love having you on.
Thank you for inviting me.
You'll be seeing them this Friday, and have a great week.
Have a good week.
Later, y'all. Oh, I can't.
I
get
need
my
to
button.
stop with my peace signs.
You gotta stop with your peace signs.
It's very Gen Z.
Oh no.
No, it's a good. I'm a cusper. I always.
We are.
Yeah. I'm on the cusp of. I can
I
speak.
do my
Good night.
Good
Good night.